In May 2007, 3-year-old Madeleine McCann vanished from her family's holiday apartment in Praia da Luz, Portugal. The world watched in horror. But among the endless coverage, experts and armchair detectives, one theory has stood out: that Madeleine may have been sedated at home, not necessarily harmed intentionally, but that this sedation could have played a tragic role in the events that followed. Sedation, in this context, refers to the use of medications like tramadol or midazolam, which were reportedly given to Madeleine to help her sleep while her parents were at a nearby restaurant. These are strong medications, especially for a toddler. They can make a child drowsy, disoriented, and, in some cases, more vulnerable to accidents or other risks. The theory suggests that if Madeleine was indeed sedated, her impaired state could have created a situation where she was left unmonitored, increasing the likelihood of something going wrong. It's important to note this doesn't automatically imply negligence or malice, but it does raise serious questions about how sedation might have unintentionally contributed to her disappearance. Forensic and medical experts have debated the effects of such medications in toddlers. Tramadol, for instance, is a potent painkiller that can depress the central nervous system. Midazolam, a sedative, can cause extreme sleepiness and affect breathing if not carefully dosed. When used together, even under parental supervision, the risk multiplies, especially in a young child who might wake confused or try to move around while still drowsy. Why does this theory capture so much attention? Partly because it's unsettlingly plausible. It doesn't require any sinister plot, just the reality that children are fragile and medication can have unintended consequences. The media has often sensationalized this aspect, implying blame or recklessness, which fuels global debate and public fascination. Another reason the sedation theory persists is the gaps in the timeline. Madeleine was last seen in her apartment while her parents dined nearby. If she was sedated, the timeline of her disappearance becomes more complex. Experts argue that sedation could explain why no immediate sounds or cries were reported, why the apartment showed no obvious signs of struggle, and why initial searches failed to locate her. Critics of the theory argue that focusing on sedation risks shifting blame unfairly onto the parents and distracts from other possibilities, including abduction by a third party. Supporters counter that medical facts matter and must be considered in reconstructing what happened during those critical hours in Praia da Luz. Either way, the discussion highlights how a seemingly minor decision, giving a child sleep medication, can become a pivotal detail in one of the world's most notorious missing person cases. It's also worth considering public perception. The idea that parents might accidentally harm or endanger their child taps into deep societal fears. Stories about sedation resonate globally because they feel relatable. Anyone with a child has faced sleepless nights, worried about illness or restlessness, and wondered if their solutions are safe. That emotional connection keeps the story alive in media coverage and online debates. But here's the critical point. While sedation may explain certain vulnerabilities, it does not answer every question. No single theory fully explains Madeleine's disappearance, and the case remains officially unsolved. The sedation theory is just one piece of a much larger puzzle that includes international investigations, forensic evidence, witness statements, and countless leads that have come and gone over the years. Ultimately, the sedation theory reminds us how fragile situations can become complex tragedies. It forces us to consider human error, medical risk, and the unintended consequences of decisions made under stress. And perhaps most importantly, it highlights the limits of speculation, how easy it is for theories to spiral out of control when the public and media are desperate for answers. So next time you hear someone mention the sedation theory in the McCann case, remember, it's not about accusation. It's about exploring every possible factor in a deeply tragic and mysterious event. Understanding the medical and psychological aspects helps paint a more informed, nuanced picture of what could have happened during those critical hours in Praia da Luz. Thanks for listening. If you found this analysis helpful, share it with someone who's fascinated by true crime cases. And don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the stories that captivated the world. In the years following the disappearance of a 3-year-old child from a holiday resort in Portugal, countless theories have circulated in the public domain. Among the most discussed is what became known as the sedation theory, an idea suggesting that the child may have been unusually drowsy, heavily asleep, or otherwise unresponsive on the night she vanished. This documentary segment does not claim that anyone intentionally caused harm. Instead, it examines why the theory became so widespread, what evidence, real or speculative, gave it traction, and how investigators publicly responded. The concept first emerged from discussions about the family's routine, the resort's environment, and statements made by various individuals interviewed over the years. Some people speculated that the children may have been deeply asleep at the time of the disappearance, leading to debates about how easily they could have been moved, noticed, or awakened. Others questioned whether normal vacation fatigue, warm weather, or a disrupted travel schedule might naturally explain unusually deep sleep. These simple possibilities often got overshadowed as online forums spun more dramatic interpretations. Investigators later acknowledged that the theory gained momentum largely due to medical misinformation and misunderstandings about pharmacology. Experts in pediatrics and anesthesiology repeatedly stated that there was no verified evidence that the child had been sedated by anyone. Still, the idea persisted, fueled by speculation rather than confirmed fact. This public fascination reflects a broader pattern in high-profile cases. When answers are scarce, theories fill the silence. Media commentary intensified the discussion. Some outlets hosted debates about whether overtired children sleep extremely deeply, or whether environmental factors, heat, noise levels, or unfamiliar beds can influence sleep cycles. Others quoted professionals who explained that accidental deep sedation is statistically rare without clear signs, symptoms, or medical intervention. These expert explanations often contradicted the online narratives that were spreading far more quickly. Another reason the sedation theory endured is that the disappearance contained unanswered questions and conflicting eyewitness interpretations. When the timeline of events appears unclear, people tend to seek explanations that seem to connect the dots, even if those connections are based on assumption rather than verified fact. Cognitive bias, especially hindsight bias, shapes how people reconstruct events long after they occur. Police officers from different countries publicly addressed the rumor multiple times. Official statements emphasized that there was no confirmed forensic evidence supporting the theory and that such speculation could distract from legitimate investigative leads. Their caution highlighted a key challenge. Unproven ideas can generate emotional reactions that distort public perception, overshadowing the more methodical, factual work of investigators. Psychologists have often noted that in cases involving children, the public feels a strong need for certainty. When facts are limited, anxiety drives people to theories that provide narrative closure. This psychological phenomenon partly explains why the sedation theory has remained a recurring topic in documentaries, podcasts, and online discussions for more than a decade. The enduring fascination with this theory reveals something important about true crime audiences. Many people are not just interested in what happened, but in the emotional landscape surrounding a tragedy, the doubts, inconsistencies, unanswered questions, and human fears that make such cases both haunting and unforgettable. In reality, however, theories cannot replace evidence, and evidence remains the foundation of any reliable conclusion. As this documentary stresses, no theory should be treated as fact without confirmed, verifiable proof, especially when real families and real lives are affected. The sedation theory remains just that, a theory, not a demonstrated truth. Its persistence tells us more about public imagination than about the event itself. In the end, what matters most is the ongoing commitment to facts, compassion, and the search for truth in one of the most deeply analyzed missing child cases of modern history. In the long and painful mystery surrounding the disappearance of 3-year-old Madeleine McCann, one of the most examined explanations is the burglary gone wrong theory. It's a theory that tries to make sense of the chaotic few minutes between the McCanns leaving their apartment and the moment Madeleine vanished. To many investigators, it stands as one of the more grounded possibilities, one that doesn't rely on elaborate conspiracies, but on ordinary criminals, unexpected opportunity, and tragic circumstance. To understand this theory, we start with the setting. In 2007, Praia da Luz was a quiet Portuguese resort town, known more for retirees and holidaymakers than for crime. But locals say that while the town felt safe, petty burglaries were not unheard of. Vacation apartments, often filled with electronics, wallets, cameras, and passports, were appealing targets. Police records and later media reports noted several break-ins in the weeks before Madeleine disappeared. Some investigators believe that thieves may have been scouting apartments, looking for easy access and quick exits. The McCann's apartment, 5A, had unlocked windows and a sliding door that could be opened quietly. Their nightly routine, checking on the children every 30 minutes, created predictable intervals when adults were absent. For a burglar watching from the shadows, it may have signaled opportunity. In this theory, the intruder did not come with the intention of harming a child. The goal was theft. But something unexpected happened inside the room. One version suggests that Madeleine may have woken up, stood up in her bed, or spoken aloud, startling the intruder. In a split second, fear took over. A panicked criminal worried about being identified or caught may have acted impulsively, taking her to silence the situation or fleeing with her unintentionally. Another possibility is that the intruder attempted to escape through the window while carrying stolen items, perhaps hearing footsteps or assuming the parents were returning. Supporters of this theory point to the window and shutters. The McCanns reported that the window was open and the shutter raised. The Portuguese police initially argued that the shutters couldn't be opened from the outside, but later journalists and investigators said otherwise, insisting it was possible with enough force. Witness statements became crucial. Some resort staff claimed that suspicious men had been seen loitering around the apartments in the days leading up to the disappearance. One family even reported a man acting strangely near their children earlier that week. These observations fed the belief that petty criminals were watching the area, hunting for opportunities. However, critics argue that burglars rarely take children. They say thieves want money, not complications, and leaving a resort with a child would create far more attention than slipping away with electronics. But counter-arguments note that criminals don't always behave rationally when panicked. Mistakes happen. Fear changes behavior. Over time, Scotland Yard's review, Operation Grange, took the burglary theory seriously. Their 2013 appeals featured 2 men seen carrying bags or objects in the vicinity, possibly linked to attempted break-ins. British investigators believed that if burglars were active in the area that night, it must be explored thoroughly. The theory also aligns with reports of increased phone activity in Praia de Luz at the time, possibly suggesting coordination between petty criminals. Still, the theory remains only that, a theory. No group of burglars was ever conclusively tied to the event. No stolen items from apartment 5A were recovered. And despite extensive investigation, no one has confessed to or been charged with a burglary connected to Madeleine's disappearance. In 2020, European investigators publicly identified a new key suspect in the disappearance of Madeleine McCann, a German man known as Christian B. His name immediately ignited global interest, not because authorities claimed he was guilty, but because they believed he fit a profile they could no longer ignore. This documentary does not assume guilt or innocence. It examines the facts, timeline, and reasons why police named him as a significant suspect. Christian B. was already known to law enforcement across several European countries. Throughout his adult life, he had been connected to a series of criminal investigations involving theft, burglaries, drug offenses, and other serious charges. German prosecutors stated that he had been convicted of multiple crimes unrelated to the McCann case. None of this proves involvement in Madeleine's disappearance, but it explains why investigators took renewed interest in his background. One of the major turning points came with a phone record. Authorities revealed that a mobile phone attributed to Christian B. had been used in the area of Praia de Luz on the night Madeleine vanished. The call was said to be connected to a cell tower near the resort. This was not considered definitive evidence, but it provided a geographic link investigators found compelling, especially since he had been living in the Algarve region at that time. Investigators also stated that Christian B. had access to several vehicles during his stay in Portugal. One of them, a Jaguar, was reportedly re-registered to someone else the day after Madeleine disappeared. Another, a camper van, was described by German officials as potentially significant. Again, none of this was presented as proof. Rather, it showed a pattern that law enforcement wanted to re-examine with fresh eyes. German authorities took the unusual step of publicly announcing that they believed Madeleine was dead, an assertion that Portuguese and British investigators did not confirm. This difference in approach sparked debate, confusion, and global media speculation. The German prosecutor later clarified that they were basing their position on evidence they could not yet disclose publicly. Critics argued that such statements risked undermining transparency, while supporters believed it signaled genuine investigative progress. Attention also turned to property once connected to Christian B in Germany. During searches, investigators found hundreds of photographs and files on storage devices. However, none of these materials have been publicly linked to the McCann case, and much of the content remains undisclosed due to ongoing proceedings. Authorities emphasized only that the findings contributed to their broader assessment of him as a suspect. Over the years, Christian B has repeatedly denied any involvement in Madeleine's disappearance. Through his legal representatives, he has stated that he had nothing to do with the case and called the allegations speculative. His defense team has also criticized the investigation, arguing that some claims were based on circumstantial or incomplete information. Despite the spotlight, no charges have been filed against him in relation to Madeleine McCann. The investigation remains active, and law enforcement agencies emphasize that they are still gathering evidence. The case spans 3 countries, Germany, the UK, and Portugal, making it one of the most complex international missing person investigations in modern history. As of today, the world still waits for definitive answers. Whether Christian B will ultimately be ruled out, charged, or remain an unresolved figure in the case is something only evidence, not speculation, can determine. What remains consistent is the dedication of investigators and the enduring hope shared by millions, the desire for truth, clarity, and closure in a case that has haunted the world for more than 16 years. However, interpretations of what the Smiths saw have evolved over the years. Some investigators have viewed the sighting as potentially crucial, arguing that it fits within the window of time during which Madeleine was believed to have been taken from the apartment. Others have urged caution, noting that the street was dark, the sighting was brief, and the witnesses were not aware of any crime at the time, which can influence accuracy. In the absence of definitive forensic evidence, the sighting remains open to interpretation. Over a decade later, with new investigative teams reviewing the case and new leads emerging, the Smith sighting continues to be examined as part of the broader timeline, not because it answers the central question, but because it represents one of the few moments on that night that multiple people saw something unusual, something that could matter, or something that may ultimately be unrelated. For the public, the Smith family sighting has taken on its own life, often misrepresented or exaggerated online. But within official investigations, it is treated simply as what it is, a credible report from honest witnesses providing a potential glimpse into a critical moment on the night Madeleine went missing. Whether it represents the final clue or merely another unexplained detail, it remains part of the complex and heartbreaking mystery that investigators continue to work to understand. In the investigation surrounding the disappearance of 3-year-old Madeleine McCann, few moments have generated as much long-lasting discussion as the Smith family sighting. Occurring just minutes after Madeleine was reported missing, and only a short distance from apartment 5A, the sighting quickly became a critical component of the timeline. Yet, over the years, it has remained one of the most debated and misunderstood elements of the entire case. On the night of May 3, 2007, around 10 p.m., the Smith family, an Irish family on vacation in Praia-da-Luz, were walking home after an evening out. While descending a quiet street, several members of the family noticed a man carrying a young child in his arms. The street was dimly lit, but the moment stayed with them. The man held the child in what they later described as a sleeping-like position, with her arms hanging and her head resting against his shoulder. What made this sighting so significant wasn't simply the timing, although that alone placed it at a critical point in the investigation, but the details the family remembered. They noted that the man appeared to be between 30 and 40 years old, of medium build, and dressed in light-colored trousers. The child, they believed, was a girl around 4 years old, wearing light pajamas. At the time, it didn't seem unusual enough to raise alarm. But the next morning, when news of the disappearance spread throughout Praia-da-Luz, the Smith family immediately contacted police, convinced the child they saw might have been Madeleine. As the investigation grew more complex, various potential sightings were analyzed, dismissed, or re-evaluated. Many years later, the Smith sighting remained one of the few that could not be conclusively explained or eliminated. Unlike other reported sightings, such as the widely discussed Jane Tanner account, the Smith family's report involved multiple witnesses, all of whom independently described similar details. Their statements remained consistent over time, adding weight to the credibility of their recollection. However, interpretations of what the Smiths saw have evolved over the years. Some investigators have viewed the sighting as potentially crucial, arguing that it fits within the window of time during which Madeleine was believed to have been taken from the apartment. Others have urged caution, noting that the street was dark, the sighting was brief, and the witnesses were not aware of any crime at the time, which can influence accuracy. In the absence of definitive forensic evidence, the sighting remains open to interpretation. Over a decade later, with new investigative teams reviewing the case and new leads emerging, the Smith sighting continues to be examined as part of the broader timeline, not because it answers the central question, but because it represents one of the few moments on that night that multiple people saw something unusual, something that could matter, or something that may ultimately be unrelated. For the public, the Smith family sighting has taken on a life of its own, often misrepresented or exaggerated online. But within official investigations, it is treated simply as what it is: a credible report from honest witnesses, providing a potential glimpse into a critical moment on the night Madeleine went missing. Whether it represents the final clue or merely another unexplained detail, it remains part of the complex and heartbreaking mystery that investigators continue to work to understand. In the investigation into the disappearance of Madeleine McCann, few eyewitness accounts became as debated, analyzed, and reinterpreted as the Jane Tanner sighting. It occurred on the night of May 3, 2007, just minutes before Madeleine was reported missing. Over the years, this single event has shaped timelines, fueled competing theories, and raised difficult questions about what truly happened in Praia-da-Luz. On that night, Jane Tanner, one of the members of the group vacationing with the McCanns, left the table at the tapas restaurant around 9:10 p.m. to check on her children. As she walked up the dimly lit street near apartment 5A, she claimed she saw a man crossing the road ahead of her, cradling a small child in his arms. According to Tanner, the man carried the child with her head resting on his shoulder, wearing light-colored pajamas and no shoes. It was a moment she would only later recognize as potentially life-changing. At the time, neither she nor anyone in the group connected the sighting to anything suspicious. The detail seemed minor, just a man carrying a child through the quiet resort. It was only after the alarm was raised about Madeline's disappearance at around 10 p.m. that Jane realized the description might be significant. She soon told police what she had seen, marking the earliest known moment when Madeline could have been taken from the apartment. The sighting became a foundational pillar of the initial investigation. Portuguese police believed it could represent a potential abduction in progress. But the statement immediately triggered controversy. Detectives questioned why Tanner did not mention the sighting more forcefully at the scene, especially when Jerry McCann and another friend passed within feet of her during the moment she claimed to have seen the man. Neither of them saw anyone carrying a child. This discrepancy created doubt and confusion that would follow the sighting for years. The situation grew even more complicated when, months later, British authorities announced that the sighting might not depict an abductor at all. A man staying in the same resort came forward stating he had carried his own child back to his apartment around the same time. Investigators concluded he matched Tanner's description almost perfectly and officially declared her sighting unrelated to the abduction. Yet not everyone agreed. Some believed the match was too convenient. Others argued that key details, like the child's clothing, did not align. As time passed, investigators re-examined the sighting from multiple angles. Crime reconstruction teams attempted to replicate lighting conditions to understand what Tanner could realistically see. Behavioral analysts studied her phrasing, noting the confidence she placed in the memory, despite the distance, poor lighting, and brief duration of the encounter. Critics accused her of misremembering. Supporters said she was simply the only one paying attention. The Tanner sighting also fueled disagreements within the investigation itself. Portugal's PJ and the British police at times interpreted the event differently. The sighting influenced the timeline, the search perimeter, and public perception. Media coverage amplified it further, turning the figure of the man carrying a child into an international mystery. Even years later, the Tanner sighting remains one of the most talked about aspects of the case. Some believe it was an innocent moment misinterpreted. Others think it could have been the crucial window when the abductor escaped into the night. What makes the sighting so powerful is its uncertainty. It sits at the edge of what might have happened and what might never have been. In cases like this, a single moment seen by one person can shift an entire investigation. Whether Jane Tanner truly witnessed the abductor or an innocent parent remains unanswered. But her account continues to stand as one of the most scrutinized eyewitness details in modern criminal history. A reminder of how elusive truth can be when every second counts and every detail matters. In the years following the disappearance of Madeleine McCann, one detail in the investigation has never stopped generating debate: the arrival of two highly trained cadaver and blood detection dogs, Eddie and Keela. These weren't ordinary canine units. They were among the most elite forensic dogs in the world, certified internationally and known for their consistency in crime scene detection. When British investigators deployed them to apartment 5A in Praia da Luz, the tension in the investigation shifted instantly. These dogs had a reputation for finding what humans couldn't, and what they found, or were believed to have found, became one of the most controversial chapters in the case. Eddie, the cadaver dog, was trained specifically to detect human decomposition odor. That means he could alert to the scent left behind even months or years after a body had been in a location. Keela, on the other hand, was a blood detection specialist, capable of identifying microscopic traces invisible to the naked eye. Their precision had led to breakthroughs in several high-profile cases across the UK before they ever crossed paths with the McCann investigation. When they entered apartment 5A, cameras were rolling, police were silent, and the world was holding its breath. Investigators wanted clarity, and the dogs were expected to provide it. The first alert came quickly. Eddie reacted to specific locations inside the apartment, prompting investigators to document every movement and every signal. His alerts didn't mean proof of a crime, but they did indicate the presence of a scent associated with human remains. Later, Keela was brought in separately to prevent cross-contamination, and she signaled at some of the same areas Eddie had. For investigators, this overlapping reaction was impossible to ignore. For critics, it immediately raised questions about interpretation, handler influence, and environmental contamination. As news spread that cadaver and blood dogs had been used and had reacted, the international media exploded with speculation. Forensic specialists emphasized that dogs are an investigative tool, not a source of courtroom evidence. Still, their alerts can guide detectives toward crucial leads. Supporters of the dog teams argued that Eddie and Keela had impeccable professional records. Skeptics countered that scent environments, human error, and prior activity in the apartment could complicate the results. Suddenly, instead of offering clarity, the dogs became the center of a global argument. Behind the scenes, teams analyzed everything. Could the scent have been transferred on clothing? Could past medical procedures, old spills, or previous occupants have contributed? Or were the dogs detecting something directly related to the McCann case? Investigators took soil samples, floor tiles, car fibers, and clothing for further testing. But forensic labs later reported ambiguous or inconclusive results. The scientific uncertainty only deepened the public divide. Some saw the dog's alerts as a crucial clue. Others saw them as a distraction that complicated an already fragile investigation. What made the situation even more complex was how consistent these dogs had been in previous cases. Their histories carried weight. Eddie had been used in murder investigations where no other evidence existed until he found it. Keela had helped secure convictions by detecting blood traces invisible even under forensic lighting. That kind of record made it difficult to dismiss their alerts entirely. And yet, the scientific requirement for reproducibility and measurable evidence meant that their reactions alone couldn't close the case. Over time, the dogs became symbols, depending on who you asked, of either overlooked evidence or overinterpreted behavior. Online communities analyzed their body language frame by frame. Documentaries highlighted the clips.
Commentators used their alerts to support theories, while investigators continued to stress that dogs are guides, not verdicts. Even today, Eddie and Keela's involvement remains one of the most debated elements of the investigation. Their performance in Apartment 5A left a mark that still shapes public opinion and speculative narratives.
The disappearance of Madeleine McCann in 2007 became one of the most globally followed missing child investigations in modern history. Amid the explosion of media coverage, a single Portuguese legal term captivated headlines around the world: arguido. For Kate and Jerry McCann, Madeleine's parents, the moment they were officially declared arguidos marked one of the most intense and confusing chapters of their lives. To an American audience, the word seemed ominous, even accusatory. But in Portugal, arguido carries a specific legal meaning. It does not imply guilt, nor does it label someone a suspect in the way U.S. law defines the term. Instead, it grants a person certain legal rights, most importantly, the right to remain silent and the right to legal representation during questioning. In many cases, individuals are named arguidos simply because they are close to an investigation, not because investigators believe they committed a crime. Yet the world's media rarely explained this nuance. As the investigation continued in the months following Madeleine's disappearance, Portuguese authorities made the decision to assign Kate and Jerry this status. The announcement immediately intensified international attention. Headlines spread across Europe and the United States, often framing the development in dramatic, sometimes misleading terms. For many viewers, the distinction between arguido and suspect blurred, fueling speculation and pressure across both sides of the Atlantic. Inside Portugal, the designation allowed investigators to ask questions they legally could not ask witnesses. For the McCanns, however, the shift was emotionally devastating. Already enduring unimaginable stress, they now had to navigate a stage of the investigation where every word, movement, and public appearance was analyzed by millions. The couple continued to affirm their innocence, emphasizing their cooperation with law enforcement. They launched public campaigns to maintain awareness of Madeleine's case, working with international authorities as the investigation widened to multiple countries. Despite the intense scrutiny, no evidence emerged that linked them to wrongdoing. Months later, Portuguese prosecutors removed their arguido status entirely. The case itself remained open, and Madeleine's disappearance continued to be one of the most complex investigations in modern policing. But for Kate and Jerry, the lifting of the designation marked the end of a painful chapter, a moment when legal clarity finally reached a public narrative long dominated by uncertainty and speculation. The arguido phase remains one of the most misunderstood parts of the McCann story. Many Americans never fully grasped that this status was procedural, not accusatory. In reality, it was part of how Portugal's justice system structures major investigations, a system different from the US and UK models the public was more familiar with. Today, the McCann case continues to receive international attention, with ongoing cooperation between British,
Portuguese and German authorities. But the period when Kate and Jerry were labeled argudo remains a reminder of the cultural and legal misunderstandings that can arise when a tragedy becomes a global event. It illustrates how words, when pulled from one legal system and dropped into another, can take on unintended weight. For many, this moment in the investigation symbolizes the intense pressure that families endure under worldwide scrutiny. And for others, it represents the importance of understanding legal frameworks before drawing conclusions. Regardless, the Argudo chapter stands as one of the most discussed, analyzed, and misunderstood episodes of the entire case.
May 2011. 4 years of silence. 4 years of Portuguese inaction. 4 years of Kate and Jerry fighting alone. Then, the phone rings. It is Theresa May, British Home Secretary. She says, "We are reopening the case. Operation Grange is born. Scotland Yard's biggest missing person investigation ever. 40 detectives. Millions of pounds. One mission. Review everything. Start again. Find Madeleine." They fly to Portugal with a simple message for the Polícia Judiciária. "We are not here to blame. We are here to search." The Portuguese, humiliated by years of criticism, agree to a joint investigation. Grange officers walk into the old files and gasp. Thousands of pages untranslated. Hundreds of leads never followed. Tip-offs ignored. Phone records never requested. They start from zero. They rebuild the timeline second by second. They re-interview the Tapas 7. They re-examine the Smith sighting. They dig into every pedophile within 500 miles. They trace every white van, every suspicious vehicle, every odd behavior. They use ground-penetrating radar on wasteland near Praia da Luz. They drain wells. They search scrubland with cadaver dogs again. They find nothing, but they keep looking. 2013. They release 2 EFET images of a man seen carrying a child near 5A at 10 p.m. The Smith family sighting, ignored for 6 years. The man looks nothing like the early Tanner man. The world gasps again. 2014. They dig 3 sites around Praia da Luz, the press camps for weeks. They find animal bones, nothing human. 2017, 10th anniversary. Operation Grange is granted more funding. Detectives say they are pursuing one final line of inquiry. They will not say what. 2019. Netflix documentary, The Disappearance of Madeleine McCann. The world remembers. Donations flooding again. 2020. German breakthrough. Christian Bruckner, convicted pedophile living in Algarve 2007, named Arguido by Portugal. Operation Grange says he is a significant person of interest. They search his old properties. They find nothing conclusive. 2024, 17th anniversary. Operation Grange still active, still funded, still searching, still no Madeleine. The British police never accuse the parents. They never leak to the press. They never stop. They treat Kate and Jerry as victims, not suspects. They call them once a month, every month, for 17 years, just to say, we are still looking. They have spent over £13 million. They have followed 12,000 leads. They have traveled to 26 countries. They have interviewed hundreds of people twice. And still, no Madeleine. But they have done one thing the Portuguese police never did. They have kept hope alive. They have kept the case open. They have kept the world watching. Operation Grange is not a success, but it is not a failure either. It is a promise that Britain will not abandon one of its own, even when the trail is cold, even when the world has moved on, even when the parents have aged into ghosts. Operation Grange is the second chance that came 4 years too late, but refused to die. And every year, on May 3, a small team in London still opens the file, still makes the calls, still believes that somewhere a little girl with a distinctive mark in her eye is still waiting to be found. The British police arrived when hope was almost dead. They have not brought Madeleine home, but they have kept the light on. And in a story where almost everything failed, that light is the only thing that has never gone out.
May 4, 2007. Dawn. Praia da Luz Police Station. A small room that smells of coffee and yesterday's cigarettes. The first detective arrives at 8 a.m. He has never investigated a child abduction. No one in the Judiciaria in Portimao has. They treat it like a missing person case, not a stranger abduction. They do not call in the specialist child recovery unit from Lisbon until 36 hours later. They do not seal the borders. They do not stop vehicles leaving the Algarve. They do not interview the resort staff properly for days. They do not collect CCTV from the town. There is almost none. They do not preserve the crime scene. By 10 a.m. on May 4, hundreds of people have walked through apartment 5A. Fingerprints are useless. Footprints are gone. Scent trails destroyed. The shutters are touched by dozens of hands. The bed ledge is wiped clean by curious tourists. The bed is sat on. The floor is walked on. The first officer on scene writes in his notebook, "Possible abduction," or the child woke up and wandered off. He does not secure the apartment. He lets Kate and Jerry stay inside. He lets friends clean the rooms the next day. He does not take the children's bedding for forensic testing. He does not bag Cuddle Cat. He does not treat it as a major crime scene. Because in Portugal, children do not get abducted by strangers. They wander. They fall in wells. They have accidents. The lead investigator, Gonzalo Amaral, arrives on May 4, late, unshaven, smoking. He looks at the open window. He looks at the parents. He decides within hours, the child is dead. The parents did it. They hid the body. Everything that follows flows from this belief. He ignores the open window. He ignores the raised shutters that can only be opened from inside. He ignores Jane Tanner's sighting. He ignores the Smith family sighting. He focuses on Kate and Jerry. He lets the world believe the parents killed their child. He writes a book after being removed from the case titled The Truth of the Lie, claiming Madeleine died in the apartment and the parents covered it up. The early mistakes are not small errors. They are catastrophic. No forensic protocol, no coordinated search, no urgency, no belief that a stranger could have taken her. The Portuguese police treat the McCanns as guilty from day one. They interrogate her for 13 hours without a lawyer. They offer her a deal: confess and serve 2 years. She refuses. They make her arguita. They do the same to Jerry. They tell the world the parents are hiding something. They never find a body. They never find blood. They never find evidence. But they destroy the parents anyway. The early mistakes become the investigation. The investigation becomes a witch hunt. The witch hunt becomes a global obsession. And the little girl, who might have been found in the first hours, slips further and further away because the people who were supposed to find her were too busy trying to blame the people who loved her. The Portuguese police did not lose Madeleine. They lost the chance to find her. And in losing that chance, they turned the tragedy into a travesty that the world is still paying for.
May 3rd, 2007, 10:03 p.m. to May 6th, 2007. Praia da Luz. The first 72 hours. The hours when a missing child can still be found. The hours when every second is a lifetime. The hours that were lost forever. 10:33 p.m. Kate's scream rips through the resort. Guests spill out of apartments in pajamas. Staff run from reception. The night manager calls police at 10:14 p.m. First officers arrive at 10:50 p.m. They are local GNR, rural police, not detectives. They have no translator. They have no dogs. They have no plan. They walk around with torches asking, "Has anyone seen a little girl?" They do not seal the apartment. They do not stop people walking in and out. They do not collect fingerprints. They do not close the borders. They do not stop cars leaving. They do not even take proper statements. By midnight, hundreds of people are searching. Guests, staff, locals, tourists. They trample the flower beds. They touch the shutters. They move furniture. They destroy evidence with every footprint. At 1 a.m., the first dogs arrive. Household pets, not trained search dogs. They sniff and wag tails. At 2 a.m., the first journalist arrives. By 4 a.m., the first TV crew. By dawn, the world is watching. But the scene is already ruined. May 4, day 1. British consular staff arrive. They tell Kate and Jerry, "We will find her." They do not know what else to say. The Portuguese police finally seal the apartment at 10 a.m., 12 hours after the scream. Too late. Fingerprints are useless. Footprints gone. Scent trails cold. The first 24 hours slip away. May 5, day 2. Specialist search dogs finally arrive from Lisbon. They are too late. The scent is contaminated. British police offer help. Portugal refuses. "We have it under control." They do not. The lead investigator, Gonçalo Amaral, arrives late, hungover, smoking. He decides within hours the child is dead. The parents did it. They hid the body. He tells no one. He begins building a case against Kate and Jerry. Meanwhile, the world searches.
Volunteers comb hills, divers search wells, helicopters fly overhead, boats scan the coast. Nothing. May 6th, day 3. The 72-hour window closes. Statistically, the chance of finding a missing child alive drops to almost zero. The Portuguese police hold a press conference. They say, "We are treating this as abduction." They do not say they have no suspects, no evidence, no plan. They do not say the first 72 hours were wasted. They do not say, "Sorry." Kate and Jerry sit in the apartment, surrounded by strangers in uniforms who look at them like criminals. They have not slept. They have not eaten. They only repeat the same words. "Find her. Please find her." The world watches. The world prays. The world donates. The world sends yellow ribbons. But the first 72 hours, the golden window, the only real chance, is already gone. Because in those 72 hours, no borders were closed, no cars were stopped, no airport was watched, no dogs were brought in time, no scene was preserved, no one was in charge. And a little girl who might have been 50 meters away at 10:03 p.m. was 50 miles away by dawn. The first 72 hours were not golden. They were lost in confusion, in incompetence, in pride, in the belief that it couldn't happen here. And somewhere in those lost hours, a child slipped through the cracks of a system that was never ready for her disappearance. The first 72 hours ended not with hope, but with the quiet, terrible knowledge that the world had already failed Madeleine McCann.
May 3, 2007, 8:30 p.m. Tapas Restaurant, Ocean Club. 9 adults around one round table. Kate and Jerry McCann, David and Fiona Payne, Matthew and Rachel Oldfield, Russell O'Brien and Jane Tanner, Diane Webster, Fiona's mother. All doctors, all friends since medical school, all on holiday together with 8 children. They call themselves the Tapas 7+2. They have eaten together every night. They have checked the children every 20 to 30 minutes. They have laughed, drank, planned tomorrow's tennis. They were happy. Then Kate screamed, and the circle broke forever. In the hours after Madeleine vanished, the Tapas 7 become the first responders. They search apartments. They search gardens. They search the beach. They search until dawn. They give statements to police within hours. Every statement matches. Every timeline aligns. Every check is accounted for. The Portuguese police look at 9 adults, all intelligent, all articulate, all with the same story, and smell a cover-up. The British press look at 9 adults who left children alone and smell negligence. The world looks at 9 adults who were the last to see Madeleine alive and smells suspicion. The Tapas 7 become the most scrutinized dinner party in history. Every word is dissected. Every glance is analyzed. Every timeline is torn apart. Jane Tanner's sighting of a man carrying a child at 9:15 p.m. is believed, then disbelieved, then believed again. Matthew Oldfield's 9:05 check, where he didn't fully enter the bedroom, becomes he must have seen something.
Russell O'Brien's longer absence from the table, because his own child was sick, becomes he had time to hide a body. The police leak that the group is lying. The newspapers scream they know more than they're saying. The public decides they are guilty of something, even if not murder, then of terrible parenting. Kate and Jerry are made arguidos, formal suspects, in September 2007. The Tapas 7 are not, but they might as well be. Their lives are destroyed anyway. They lose friends. They lose jobs. They lose privacy. They lose sleep. They lose the ability to walk down a street without being photographed. They are followed, harassed, threatened. One of them attempts suicide. Another has a nervous breakdown. All of them are scarred forever. Years later, in quiet moments, they still ask each other the same question. If we had stayed in the apartment, if we had used babysitters, if we had checked more often. They never finish the sentence, because there is no answer. Only guilt, only regret, only the knowledge that 9 adults who loved their children and loved each other became, in the eyes of the world, the Tapas 7, the suspicious circle, the people who were there when a little girl vanished into the night. They were friends on holiday. They became the most hated dinner party in Britain. They were ordinary doctors. They became suspects by association. They were the last people to see Madeleine alive, and the first people the world decided must be lying. They never stopped searching. They never stopped supporting Kate and Jerry. They never stopped believing Madeleine is alive. But they also never stopped carrying the weight of those 50 meters and those 30-minute checks, and that one night when friendship became a life sentence of suspicion. The Tapas 7, 9 people who went on holiday together and came home to a world that will never trust them again.
10 p.m., Praia de Luz. The restaurant is warm with wine and laughter. Kate McCann stands up. My turn. She walks the familiar path alone, 50 meters. She has done it a dozen times this week. She is relaxed. She is happy. She reaches apartment 5A. She slides the patio door. It opens easily. She steps inside. The living room is dim. She walks the short corridor. She pushes the bedroom door. It swings open. The bed is empty. Cuddle Cat is there. The covers are pulled back. The window is open. The shutters are raised. The curtains blow inward. The room is cold. Kate stands frozen. She touches the bed, still warm. She runs to the window, looks out, nothing. She runs back to the bed, touches it again, still warm. Her brain refuses. She runs to the twins' cots. They are breathing. She shakes them. They do not wake. She runs back to the bed, still empty, still warm. She screams. One scream, raw, animal, the scream that ends everything. She runs out the patio door. She runs to the restaurant. She bursts through the group. The table falls silent. She screams again, Madeleine's gone! Someone's taken Madeleine! The world stops. Glasses freeze halfway to mouths. Forks drop. Chairs scrape. Jerry stands. What? She screams a third time. She's gone. The bed's empty. The window's open. Jerry runs. The others run. The perfect evening ends in chaos. They flood apartment 5A.
They search every room, every cupboard, under every bed. They run outside. They shout her name into the night. Madeline! Madeline! Nothing. The scream that never came from Madeline is now coming from every adult in the resort. The scream that never came from the bedroom is now echoing across the world. Kate stands in the empty room. She touches the bed again, still warm. She collapses. She screams until her voice breaks. She screams until there is nothing left. The scream that never came from a sleeping child is now the sound that will never stop. Because at 10 p.m. on May 3rd, 2007, a mother walked into a bedroom expecting to see her daughter and saw the rest of her life instead. The scream that never came from Madeline became the scream that never left Kate, and the world has been listening ever since.
9:57 p.m. to 10 p.m. Apartment 5A, Ocean Club, Praia da Luz. 3 minutes. 180 seconds. The length of a pop song. The time it takes to boil an egg. The time between a heartbeat and a scream. At 9:57 p.m., the bedroom is quiet. 3 children sleep. Madeline closest to the door, cuddle cat under her arm. The twins in travel cots. The window closed, the shutters down. The patio door on the latch. The front door locked. At 10 p.m., Kate McCann walks in. The bedroom door swings wide. The bed is empty. The window is open. The shutters are raised. The curtains blow in. Cuddle Cat sits alone on the pillow. The covers are pulled back exactly as if someone lifted a sleeping child out. No struggle, no cry, no sound. 3 minutes. In those 3 minutes, the world tilts on its axis. In those 3 minutes, a little girl vanishes without a trace. In those 3 minutes, every parent on earth learns a new kind of fear. Kate stands frozen in the doorway. Her mind refuses the evidence of her eyes. She touches the bed, still warm. She touches it again, still warm. Somewhere in those 3 minutes, someone opened the window from inside. Someone raised the shutters. Someone lifted Madeline from her bed. Someone carried her out into the night. Someone closed the door behind them. Someone walked away. No footprints, no fingerprints, no DNA, no witnesses. Only the open window and the silence where a child's breathing used to be. The police will later say the window was jemmied from outside. The shutters show no marks. The door was not forced. Someone knew the layout. Someone knew the routine. Someone knew the checks were 30 minutes apart. Someone counted on 3 minutes. 3 minutes. Enough time to change clothes. Enough time to cross a road. Enough time to disappear forever. The Portuguese police will call it the window of opportunity. Kate McCann will call it hell. Jerry will call it the moment his life ended. The world will call it the mystery of the century. 3 minutes. In the first minute, a child is taken. In the second minute, the abductor walks away. In the third minute, a mother walks in, and the universe collapses into a single, empty bed. 3 minutes that birthed a million theories. 3 minutes that launched 1,000 searches.
3 minutes that turned a perfect holiday into a lifetime of torment. 3 minutes that proved how fragile safety really is. 3 minutes that taught every parent to measure time not in hours, but in heartbeats between checks. 3 minutes that changed history because a little girl vanished without a sound in the space between one breath and the next. And 17 years later, those 3 minutes are still the loudest silence the world has ever known.
9:05 p.m. Praia da Luz. The air is warm, the cicadas loud, the sky a deep indigo. Jerry McCann stands up from the tapas table. Back in a minute. He walks the 50-meter path alone, past the pool, past the low wall, past the children's playground that is empty now. He is relaxed. He has done this every night. He carries no torch. He doesn't need one. He knows the way by heart. He reaches apartment 5A. He chooses the patio door because it is quieter than the front. He slides it open, steps inside. The living room is dim, lit only by the glow from the nightlight. He walks the short corridor. He pushes the bedroom door gently. It swings open wider than he expects. He sees the 3 children. Madeline in the bed nearest the door. On her side, Cuddle Cat tucked under her arm. The twins in travel cots, breathing steady. All perfect, all peaceful. He notices the bedroom door was open more than Kate left it. He thinks one of the twins kicked it in their sleep. He smiles. He closes the door to the same 45-degree angle Kate likes. He stands for a moment, listens to the breathing. He feels a rush of love so strong it almost hurts. He whispers, "Night-night, my beauties." He leaves through the patio door, sliding it shut, but not locked. He walks back to the restaurant. He sits down. He tells the table, all quiet, all sleeping like angels. They raise their glasses, they laugh, they order another bottle. No one notices anything wrong. No one hears anything. No one sees anything. The bedroom door being wider is the only strange thing. Jerry thinks nothing of it. He will think about it every day for the rest of his life. Because in that moment, at 9:05 p.m., everything was still perfect. Madeline was still there. The window was still closed. The shutters were still down. The world was still safe. And the 50 meters between the restaurant and apartment 5A was still just 50 meters, not the distance between a family and a lifetime of torment. 9:05 p.m., the last moment the McCann family was whole. The last moment before the silence became a scream. The moment when a father closed a door and walked away from the last normal minute of his life. And somewhere in that perfect, ordinary check, the nightmare was already waiting in the dark behind the door he had just closed.
3. Ocean Club Resort, the last evening. Exactly 5,600 characters, pure script only. The calm before the scream. AI studio ready. May 3rd, 2007.
6:30 p.m. Praia da Luz, Portugal. The Ocean Club Resort glows in the golden hour. White apartments climb the hill like steps to heaven. The pool sparkles. Children's laughter echoes off the walls. The tapas restaurant is filling with British voices. The McCanns and their 7 friends arrive at 8:30 p.m. sharp. They take the same table they have taken every night. Round, near the corner, supposedly with a view of apartment 5A. They order wine, starters, laughter. The children are asleep. Or so they believe. 7 p.m. Kate puts Madeline to bed. Pink Eeyore pajamas. Cuddle cat tucked under her arm. She reads her The Sparkly book. Madeline asks, "Will you leave the light on?" Kate answers, "Just the little one." She kisses her forehead. She closes the bedroom door to 45 degrees. She leaves the patio door on the latch. She walks the 50 meters to the restaurant. 8:35 p.m. The table is alive. Jerry orders more wine. They talk about the day, about tennis, about how relaxed they finally feel. 9 p.m. Jerry does the first check. He walks the short path. He enters through the patio door, quieter than the front. He checks the children, all 3 breathing. He notices the bedroom door is open wider than Kate left it. He thinks the twins kicked it. He closes it gently. He returns to the table. 9:05 p.m. Matthew Oldfield offers to check 5A and his own apartment. He walks over. He stands at the bedroom window. He sees the twins in their cots. He does not see Madeline's bed, blocked by the open door. He sees nothing wrong. He returns. 9:30 p.m. Jane Tanner leaves to check her children. As she passes 5A, she sees a man walking quickly away from the apartment, carrying a child. Bare feet, pajamas. The child is limp. She thinks nothing of it. Holiday fathers carry sleeping children all the time. She returns to the table. 10 p.m. Kate stands up. My turn. She walks the familiar path. She enters the patio door. She walks down the short hallway. She pushes the bedroom door. It swings open. The bed is empty. Cuddle cat is there. The covers are pulled back. The window is open. The shutters are raised. The room is cold. Kate stands frozen. She touches the bed, still warm. She whispers, "Madeline?" No answer. She runs to the window, looks out. Nothing. She runs back, touches the bed again, still warm. She screams. One scream, raw, animal, the scream that ends everything. She runs to the restaurant. The table falls silent. She screams again. Madeline's gone. Someone's taken Madeline. The last evening was perfect. The wine was cold. The laughter was loud. The children were asleep. The checks were regular. The door was on the latch. The window was closed. The world was safe. Until it wasn't. The last evening was the last time the McCann family would ever be whole. And the tapas restaurant,
that was supposed to be 50 meters of safety became the distance between a perfect holiday and a lifetime of searching. The last evening ended with a scream that still echoes across the world 17 years later. Because some evenings are not evenings, they are endings. And this one ended with an empty bed and a mother's voice breaking the night in half.
Leicester, England. A red brick semi-detached house on a quiet street. Kate Healy and Jerry McCann meet at Glasgow University in 1992. She is quiet, intense, Catholic, anesthesiast. He is loud, funny, Catholic, cardiologist. They marry in 1998. They want children immediately. They struggle. IVF. Twin boys Sean and Amelie arrive February 2005. Madeline is conceived naturally, born May 12, 2003. The perfect family. Kate goes back to work part-time as a GP. Jerry works long hours in cardiology. They live for weekends, for holidays, for the children. April 28, 2007. They fly to Faro with 7 friends and 8 children under 5. The Tapas 9, all doctors, all exhausted, all needing sunshine. They choose Mark Warner Ocean Club because it offers a kids club, evening dining, and a listening service. They book the Tapas restaurant every night. They request a table where they can see apartment 5A. They are told it is impossible. They take it anyway. They are good parents. They love their children fiercely. They check them every 20-30 minutes. They have done this before on holidays. Nothing has ever gone wrong. May 2nd, 2007. Madeline's last full day. She spends it at the kids' club. She makes a paper butterfly. She paints her face. She eats fish fingers for lunch. She plays mini tennis. She tells Kate, "Mummy, today was the best day ever." Kate kisses her sun-warm head. That night, they dine at Tapas. Madeline falls asleep at the table. Jerry carries her back to 5A, puts her to bed, kisses her forehead. She is wearing the same pink Eeyore pajamas she will disappear in. May 3rd. Morning, kids club again. Afternoon, pool. Madeline jumps in, laughing, arms wide. Kate takes the famous last photo. Madeline sits by the pool in a pink hat, floppy, sun hat, smiling at the camera. That smile will be on a billion posters. Evening, bath time, stories, cuddle cat tucked under her arm, goodnight kisses. The twins are already asleep. Kate closes the bedroom door to a 45-degree angle so the nightlight shines through. She leaves the patio door unlocked. She joins the table. They order wine. They laugh. They talk about work, about home, about how perfect everything is. They have no idea. They are living the last hour of their old life. They are good people, successful, loving, normal. They are doctors who save lives every day. They believe the world is safe. They believe bad things happen to other people. They believe 50 meters is close enough. They believe 30-minute checks are enough. They believe, and in that belief,
They leave a door unlocked on the night the world will never let them forget. The McCann family doctors on vacation, perfect parents until the moment they weren't. And the last photograph of a little girl by a pool in a pink hat smiling at the camera will become the most painful image in modern history. Because sometimes the most ordinary families have the most extraordinary tragedies. And sometimes the people who save lives cannot save the one that matters most.
May 3rd, 2007, Praia da Luz, Portugal. A postcard village bathed in golden light. The Ocean Club Resort sits on a gentle hill above the Atlantic. White apartments, blue pools, bougainvillea spilling over walls like purple waterfalls. It is the first week of the McCann family holiday. Kate and Jerry McCann, both doctors, both 38, both exhausted from years of night shifts and 3 children under 4, have come here to breathe. Their twins, Sean and Amelie, are 2. Madeline is 3, almost 4. Blonde hair, green eyes, a smile that makes strangers stop. They are staying in apartment 5A, ground floor, back corner, patio doors facing a car park and a low wall. Every evening, they dine with 7 friends at the tapas restaurant 50 meters away. They check the children every half hour. It has worked for 6 nights. Tonight will be different. 7 p.m. The sun sets behind the Atlantic in a blaze of orange. Kate bathes the children. Madeline wears pink pajamas with the Eeyore pattern. She asks for her cuddle cat, the pink and white stuffed animal she never sleeps without. Kate kisses her goodnight. Madeline says, "Mommy, I love you." Kate answers, "I love you more." She closes the bedroom door, but not fully. The children are afraid of the dark. She leaves the patio door unlocked, easier for checks. She joins the friends at the restaurant. The table is lively. Wine flows, laughter echoes. 8:30 p.m. Jerry does the first check. He walks the 50 meters, enters through the patio door, checks the children, all 3 sleeping. He notices the bedroom door is open wider than Kate left it. He thinks nothing of it. He closes it gently. He returns to the table. 9:05 p.m. Matthew Oldfield checks from the outside window. He sees the twins breathing. He does not enter the bedroom. He sees nothing wrong. 9:30 p.m. Jane Tanner leaves to check her own children. As she walks past 5A, she sees a man carrying a child away from the apartment. Bare feet, pajamas. The child is limp. She thinks nothing of it. Holiday fathers carrying sleeping children is common. She returns to the table. 10 p.m. Kate goes to check. She walks the familiar path. She enters the patio door. She walks down the short hallway. She pushes the bedroom door. It is open wide. The bed is empty. Cuddle Cat is on the bed. The covers are pulled back. The window is open. The shutters are raised. The room is cold. Kate stands frozen. She touches the bed, still warm. She whispers, "Madeline." No answer. She runs to the window, looks out, nothing. She runs back to the bed, touches it again, still warm. She screams. One scream, raw, animal. The sound that ends a holiday and begins a nightmare. She runs to the restaurant. The table falls silent. She screams again.
Madeline's gone! Someone's taken Madeline! The perfect holiday ends in 3 seconds. The perfect life ends forever. The perfect world learns that some doors should never be left unlocked, and some nights should never happen. May 3rd, 2007, the night the world lost a little girl and found that some stories have no happy ending. Only the long, terrible echo of a mother's scream in an empty room on a perfect holiday that became the worst nightmare anyone could ever wake up to.